patiently. And we wrote quite a number of letters. We waited quietly. But you know what? Everybody have a little breaking point. And it's quite possible that this breaking point may have caused our membership and other teachers to become ill.
In other news, Trinidad and Tobago says tighter stage management and more consistent judging conditions and expanded digital access are contributing to a smoother and more efficient Panorama season as medium and large steel bands gear up for the semi-finals at the Queen's Park Savannah. With Panyard judging in its last week, attention is shifting to the Savannah stage, which Trinidad and Tobago says removes many of the acoustic advantages and disadvantages that can affect performances in smaller, enclosed spaces.
Savannah, or whichever stage we go on for the semi-finals, the great equalizer, because everybody now on equal playing field, nobody have the benefit of buildings around them, or nobody have the disadvantage of being in a big open space.
Right.
Organizers say efficiency is also a major focus this year, with strict start times and tightly managed transitions, designed to keep the show running smoothly for both performers and audiences.
Our president doesn't play with, neither does our stage manager, Michelle Mitchell, starting on time and keeping the show running efficiently. And you see that Savannah party where we're having about 30 bands crossing the stage, you don't want to go until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Trinidad and Tobago has also expanded access beyond the venue, offering a pay-per-view option for international audiences as Panorama continues to attract global interest from the Caribbean diaspora and beyond. In sport, the Freetown Sports Group recently launched a youth development initiative designed to use football as a pathway for holistic development, opportunity creation and social impact, particularly for young people transitioning out of the traditional school system. FSG founder Jamil Young told us more.
The official launch of the Freetown Sport and Academy is a new initiative designed to cater to young student athletes between the ages of 16 and 20. As a young man from the Belmont community, I have experienced firsthand the importance of sport and how it contributes to the development of young people. I have always said that if we get sport right in this country, we can save a lot of lives. So the idea is to use sport as that tool to bring the young people into the environment. The program will be held out of the Belmont community. So the idea is really to cater to these young athletes from the at-risk communities, the Belmont, the Gonzales, the Sealots, the Beatum. These young students who may not have opportunity otherwise. The idea is to bring these opportunities closer to these youths, which would make it easier for them to succeed in the long run.
And that's what's making the news this morning. But joining us right now is the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today, Virmala Balkaran. Good morning, Virmala.
Good morning, Carrie. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great so far. What about you?
I'm okay. Just a little bit sore from the gym yesterday. What did you do yesterday?
Yeah, I went to the gym too.
Yeah, I know you have a New Year's resolution that you want to keep going every single day, right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, like, well, yesterday was my favorite chest day. If I had my way, I would do chest every day. But I'm trying to keep up, you know, the healthy lifestyle and keep going, exercising, keeping active. You know,
well, no matter what you do, Carrie, just try to get a little bit of physical activity every single day. Actually, coming up inside Trinidad and Tobago today, Dr. Robert Jupiter joins us to talk about the importance of maintaining a healthy lifestyle, moving your body, you know, staying in shape.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I'll be paying close attention.
And of course, you know the drill, Carrie. That and more inside Trinidad and Tobago today.
All right. Thank you so much, Virmala.
You're welcome.
When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going after this break.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
I say, come to me. Oh, come to me. Oh, come to me. Oh, yeah, yeah. Go away from me. Go away from me. Go away from me. Go away from me. I say, take a jump. Take a jump. Oh, no. Start to wave. Start to wave. Start to wave. Oh, no. Start to wine. Start to wine up now. Because the queen of Bacchanal.
Tune in for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz, brought to you by Fruta.
Health and wellness, the core of our existence on planet Earth. Let us hear the voices of our very own citizens, our local and regional medical community, scientists and climatologists. Caribbean Medical TV is geared to developing a consciousness in our people in terms of our health and lifestyle. Knowledge is a very powerful tool, and we must empower ourselves with the information to protect against chronic and other related diseases. From the impact of climate change on our health to NCDs, Season 3 of Caribbean Medical TV tackles the challenges we all face, giving our citizens hope for a better tomorrow. Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV.
Every morning begins with a story, the headlines you need, the voices you trust, the conversations shaping our nation. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today, where your day starts informed and inspired. News that matters to you, conversations that spark new ideas, stories that move Trinidad and Tobago forward. Tune in weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. or join the conversation on any smart device at TNT Today Show. Trinidad and Tobago Today. Start here, exclusively on TTT.
TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. The time now, 6:09 a.m. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran, and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Taking a look at what's trending this morning, we begin with breaking news from Parliament overnight. The government's proposed Zones of Special Operations bill has been defeated in the Senate. The legislation, which would have given sweeping powers to designate high-crime communities as security zones and allow expanded police and military action, well, it failed to secure the required 3/5 majority. 15 government senators voted in favor, but 14 voted against, including 8 independent senators and 6 from the opposition, with 1 abstention. Now, that means when the state of emergency expires on January 31st, just a few days away, the government will not be able to move forward with its ZOSO initiative, which it had said was critical to continuing gains against criminal activity. Now, the Attorney General acknowledged that there was not enough time to consider proposed amendments before the vote, while the independent senators, well, they maintained their role was to scrutinize the legislation, but not rubber stamp it. Well, moving on, an update that many parents would have been watching closely yesterday. The Ministry of Education, as you heard earlier on in the newscast, moved to reassure the public that all 143 government and government-assisted ECCE centers remained open nationwide, despite reports of early dismissals at some schools. And while there were concerns over teacher attendance, the ministry said learning continued across all districts, and there was steady student participation reported, and only about 1% of primary and secondary schools experiencing early dismissals. Well, officials also stressed yesterday that there was no indication of any withdrawal of labor, and they noted that the collective agreement has already been ratified. And then they urged parents, continue sending your children to school, especially with major exams coming up like SEA in March and CXC examinations in April. And finally this morning, we pause to acknowledge the passing of an education giant. Dr. Alan Mackenzie, the long-serving and transformational principal of Naparima College, has died at the age of 92. Dr. Mackenzie led the San Fernando School from 1966 to 1993 and is widely credited with shaping the Naparima College into one of South Trinidad's leading secondary institutions and, of course, a premier national boys' college. He was fondly known as Mac and remembered as both a strict disciplinarian and a visionary mentor who believed deeply in using education as a tool for character building, leadership, and national development. Now, he famously never expelled a student, He insisted instead that teachers must first love and value their students, a philosophy that influenced generations of young men who went on to careers, as you may know, in politics, law, medicine, education, and even public life. In recognition of his legacy, the school's science block was actually renamed in his honor in the year 2023. But beyond Naparima College, Dr. Mackenzie also served as chairman of the Express Children's Fund. He also led the J.C. McDonald Presbyterian Home for the Aged for decades. And then he also helped to guide the development of COSTAT and my own alma mater, the Ken Gordon School of Journalism. The Education Minister, Dr. Michael Dowlath, himself a former student, says that Dr. Mackenzie's influence has truly left an indelible mark on Trinidad and Tobago's educational landscape. Truly a life of service, discipline, and deep commitment to youth and nation. Well, when we come back, we talk all about the law and, of course, you, only on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Attention viewers in Trinidad and Tobago. The Truth of God now airs on the TTT network every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. You won't want to miss the dynamic preaching and teaching of Pastor Jennings as he speaks from God's Holy Bible.
Believe what God says.
The Truth of God, every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on Trinidad and Tobago television. You can also watch The Truth of God 24/7 at the TOG.TV.
Throwback Thursdays on TTT takes a whole new meaning this Carnival season. We're digging into the archives and bringing you the moment that made Carnival unforgettable. The music that made us throw our waistlines, the fets that had flags waving, and the energy that carried us from the stage to the road. From iconic performances to unforgettable stage moments, from Panorama to the Marsh Gras, from Soca Monarch to concerts, where one beat could mash up the whole place. This is the Carnival we know and love. Raw, real, unfiltered. The kind of carnival that had us jamming without a care, living in the moment, and carrying the vibes long after the music stopped. This Carnival season, Throwback Thursday on TTT isn't just about looking back, it's about reconnecting with the spirit, the freedom, and the culture that live inside all of us. So whether you were there when it happened or experiencing it for the first time, pull up, tune in, and relive the vibes. Throwback Thursdays, the Carnival edition, only on TTT, the home of Carnival.
Go away from me. Go away from me. Go away from me. Go away from me. I said, take a jump, take a jump, oh no. Start to wind up now, because the queen of Bacchanal.
A new season equals new dreams, and many football fans are dreaming of their team actually winning this season. But the reality is that only one team can win. So many will just be dreaming and wishing and hoping that their team can deliver. Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Notice I have not mentioned Arsenal. Don't be upset, I'm not mentioning Man U either. This is Atto Bolden inviting all of you to follow the 12th man as they celebrate a new season on TTT and enjoy the ride.
As investigations continue into the police-involved shooting, which claimed the life of Joshua Samaru, Commissioner of Police Alistair Guevara has said that the officers involved will not be suspended at this time, but will instead receive counseling, while multiple agencies will they need to conduct their parallel investigations. He also urged the public to withhold judgment, and he said that only a portion of the incident has circulated online and emphasized the importance of due process. Joining us this morning is attorney Clyde Weatherhead, who has publicly shared his legal concerns on this matter, stressing that no one is above the law. We speak to him this morning to gain a legal perspective on the Commissioner's position, accountability, and of course, the rule of law. Good morning, Mr. Weatherhead, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, good morning, and thanks for having me.
I know it's an early morning
Happy
for you.
New Year to you all as well.
Happy New Year. At which point do we stop saying Happy New Year? I mean, before January ends, right?
Well, after we've had our first conversation. So.
Well, it's good to have you here with us. Mr. Weatherhead, diving straight into the topic, the Commissioner of Police has said the officers will not be suspended at this time, and that they're offering counseling, especially while the investigations continue. Mr. Weatherhead, from a legal standpoint, how do you view that decision? What are your thoughts?
Okay, well, the officers involved are public officers. The police service is part of the public service. And they are public officers, and therefore the regulations of the Police Service Commission will apply to them. Although the commission was replaced by the Commissioner of Police by the amendments to the Constitution in 2006. So the Commissioner of Police has all the powers of the Police Service Commission over 8,000 officers. And I know a lot of people get worried when they hear suspension, but the regulations make provision for suspension, not as a punitive, not as a punishment, but as a preventative tool in situations, for example, where there's an investigation to go on, as in this case. Persons can be suspended, or there's also a term there in the regulations, interdicted, which means they are off the job, they are away from the workplace, so that the investigations can proceed speedily and easily.
Let's talk about, public opinion. The Commissioner of Police also stated that the public, we should withhold our judgment, and said the video that's circulating right now, it's only seconds of a much longer encounter. What is your response to that, Mr. Weatherhead?
He said 12 minutes. The seconds of 12 minutes. The question here is this. First, let me say that the question of counseling, with or without suspension or any other thing, in an incident like that, counseling, both for the relatives of the victim and the police officers, should be a necessity. There's something called PTSD that soldiers suffer from, although they've trained to fight in wars. You go through that kind of trauma. So that the question of seconds out of 12 minutes, when you deal with a police-involved killing or shooting, the issue is, have the police responded to the situation at that moment in a balanced and fair manner? The question here is not what went on before. Even if the persons who were being chased by the police were involved in some crime before, there's some reporting in newspapers suggesting there was some sting operation. What crime were they involved in that carries the death penalty? Did they murder somebody? And in any case, if it was a capital offense, our rule of law does not require that the police kill you. It requires that they arrest you, that they charge you, that you go before a court. That is due process. So when the Commissioner of Police speaks of due process, is he speaking simply that the process to investigate in terms of the PCA and the PSB and so on, or is he speaking about due process in relation to persons who may have breached the law and what our law requires? That is that you come before a judicial authority.
Yeah, I know. Just continuing with that, Mr. Weatherhead, you had actually questioned whether anything happening or allegedly happening before could have, if that could have justified a fatal outcome. So thanks for explaining that to us. Also, you pointed out that suspension can be precautionary but not punitive, right? Can you explain that for the public?
Okay, so in the regulations, which are the same as the public service regulations that apply to the police service, there are two situations in which persons can be asked not to report for duty. One is that a complaint is brought against them, or if persons face a criminal charge or possible criminal charge, they can be asked not to report for duty. That is in terms of the public service regulations that apply to the police. That is called a suspension or an interdiction. I know it's now fashionable to talk about administrative leave, but that is not part of our dictionary in Trinidad and Tobago in industrial relations, and more so in the public service. So the commission, in this case, in relation to the 8,000 officers below the rank of commissioner and deputy commissioner, they fall under the commissioner who has been given the powers of the commission. So if there's a serious investigation to be conducted in relation to persons involved in a situation, and you want that investigation not to be tainted or interfered with by that person, or appear to be interfered with, you can remove them from office, which would be called a suspension. But there's also suspension if you are charged with a disciplinary charge, and there's a hearing and you are found guilty of that charge, then one of the penalties may be suspension. It ranges from a simple warning up to dismissal. So within that range, suspension, it then becomes punitive, but only after a disciplinary charge. These officers are not charged with anything, but for the purposes of having a very open and transparent investigation, they should not be on the job at this point.
Mr. Weatherhead, in your commentary about the situation, you specifically referenced the constitutional powers that were given to the Commissioner of Police in 2006. I want to dissect that just a little bit for our viewing public this morning, and how does that affect his responsibility specifically in situations like these?
Sure, okay. The public service is made up of several services: the civil service, teaching service, police, fire, prisons. So all of these services once fell under the Public Service Commission. Now there are other commissions: the Police Service Commission, the Teaching Service Commission, etc. The prisons and fire still fall under the Public Service Commission. The commissions under the Constitution are independent bodies that appoint public officers. And the commissions have 5 powers. They appoint, they promote, they transfer, they discipline, and they can terminate public officers. Those 5 powers, under the Constitution amendments in 2006 regarding the police service, gave those powers to the Commissioner of Police for all the ranks below Deputy Commissioner of Police. The Commissioner and Deputy, they both remain under the Police Service Commission. So with those powers, I heard some news reporting yesterday saying the police commissioner manages the public service, the police service. So what he manages is he's fulfilling the role of the commission with that kind of power, which is an HR and IR role. It is not like police running through the bushes with other officers chasing a criminal. This is about management. This is about HR and IR principles being applied.
Mr. Weatherhead, before we wrap up, I want to ask you, what message do you have this morning for citizens about the rule of law, due process, accountability, and even just, allowing investigations to proceed and what they're entitled to as members of the public?
Well, in any case where there's a situation like this, there are institutions that are required to conduct investigations, including the PCA, which is independent of the police. The PCA does not prosecute anybody, they investigate and they recommend. If they find wrongdoing, they will recommend either disciplinary action to the commissioner or charges to be laid to the DPP. So when the commissioner says we should all wait for the investigation, he did not wait. Whatever the officers told him that first day, he told us in the public that there was a shootout and there was an exchange of gunfire, which nobody saw in the video because it did not happen. And in any situation like this, there needs to be an investigation, and we should not draw conclusions simply in a quick way, but at the same time, the investigations need to proceed very speedily. And that is what is required in a situation like that.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Clyde Weatherhead, for joining us this morning, taking the time to be on Trinidad and Tobago Today. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
All right. The time now, just about 6:28 a.m. When we come back, we speak with Miss Denise Deming about so much happening in Trinidad and Tobago today in the financial landscape and more on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Watch the passion building and the voices roaring with the mission done and the game is won. When the music talking and the big stage calling, the culture comes alive and it's just endless vibes. The future's bright, we'll be more bright. Now it's sweet time, the time to shine. Life is on, there's no time to be timid. So chase those dreams, live without limit. On with Be Mobile.
Bring your team, bring your flags, bring your vibes. Next 99.1 FM is taking over the Savannah. Sunday 1st February, we are bringing the energy for Jam Iron on the greens. This one you don't want to miss, and it's all inclusive. So secure your packages early. Get yours today on islandetickets.com. Lock in your spot and lock in your team. Next 99.1 FM, the next level of radio.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's Terrific Toon Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world on Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forest alongside our robot pals from Bugspot Ignition. Or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. Catch Terrific Toon Time Monday to Friday at 8:30 a.m. and 4:10 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. It's fun-filled adventure with Terrific Toon Time, right here on TTT.
Somewhere up in Laventille, many years ago, a man had a hammer, used to follow him to run. He used to use it to pong a pan, or sometimes a stupid man, all in the savannah, never miss an arrow.
You have to be committed. You have to have perseverance to say, okay, I'm starting at knowing nothing to reach a point where I can perform an entire song.
Party right here in the backyard. Money in the Bacchanal. It's not in the nature. Money in the pocket. This life I wanna love it. Money in the Bacchanal. It's not in the nature.
Well, the business community will be pleased with the new inter-island cargo vessel, the Blue Wave Harmony. The views expressed by Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Farley Augustine. Mr. Augustine toured the vessel on Tuesday with government officials and said he's very pleased with the potential he saw on the ship, especially for making business travelers feel at ease moving between the islands. We've got more for you now.
Government ministers, Tobago House of Assembly officials and Port Authority management toured the Blue Wave Harmony, which was docked at the Port of Spain.
The hospitality that is now available here was not readily available before. So through this vessel, they can have access to hot meals. The downtime is much more comfortable than before.
The ship can accommodate approximately 125 freight units, compared to about 90 trailers on the Cabo Star, and has fixed refrigerated sockets which can be used for temperature-sensitive goods such as food and pharmaceuticals. The Chief Secretary commended the Port Authority and the Minister of Works and Infrastructure for assisting with the speedy negotiations that got the boat to this country. Minister Jolene John says the reductions in cost of transportation being brought by this new ship will remove a lot of anxiety from the hearts of Tobagonians.
So an item that costs $1 in Port of Spain, by the time it gets to Speyside and Charlottesville, it's $2.50. And a lot of that is because of the cost of transportation. Right? There's always an anxiety that resides around transportation. This link, this is not a link just a sea bridge, this is a link of hope.
She says her next focus and concern is the upkeep of the vessel, and she will ensure that the comforts are enhanced so as to not allow for it to be degraded. Dr. Rodney Ramu, chairman of the Port Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, says especially now during the Carnival season, the vessel is an essential link between the islands.
At this time we have Carnival, we have Panorama, we have steel bands and steel pans that will have to be transported from Tobago to Port of Spain. So it's a connectivity of culture. The same way we use the steel pans to bring notes together to produce a sound, we are using this vessel to bring culture and bring people together.
The Ministry of Works and Infrastructure says work has already begun on longer-term planning beyond the lease period. Karen Cozier-Phillip, TTT News.
Well, this year also marks the 7th observance of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Men and Boys. We focus this morning on this initiative created to address what its founder, Dr. Jerome Tilak-Singh, says is a major gap in global conversations on violence.
And lecturer Dr. Jerome Tilak-Singh, who established the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Men and Boys, says while international attention has rightly focused on violence against women and children, the violence faced by men and boys has largely been overlooked. He points to high murder rates in Trinidad and Tobago, across the Caribbean and globally, noting that many male victims carry deep trauma from violence experienced in their homes, schools, workplaces and communities.
And I was seeing the high level of murders in Trinidad and Tobago, the high level of crime in other Caribbean countries and across the world, you know, not just dealing with murders, but even violence with weapons. And in the military. So I felt there was a need to try to focus on how we could find solutions to this problem.
According to Dr. Tilak-Singh, one of the biggest barriers preventing men and boys from speaking out is social shame.
I believe that it's a stigma attached to this violence. Sometimes the society, one of the main barriers is that the society believes that men and violence go together.
He explains that many males fear being mocked, embarrassed, or seen as weak if they report abuse. As a result, violence often goes unreported, with trauma building over time and sometimes resurfacing later as aggression, withdrawal, or self-harm. This year's theme, Breaking the Stigma, Reporting Violence Against Males, calls for safer spaces for men and boys to come forward.
You know, we often have safe houses for women, safe houses for women and children, safe houses for women who are victims of domestic violence. We have safe houses sometimes for witnesses who have to testify in a important case, but we don't have safe houses for men who are victims of violence.
He also highlights the role of the media, urging more balanced coverage that humanizes men and showcases positive male role models. Dr. Tilaksing says that warning signs of abuse in boys and men can include sudden withdrawal, violent language, loss of interest in activities, or thoughts of suicide, signals that loved ones should never ignore. Ultimately, he says, addressing violence against men and boys requires education.
I believe that there's a need for an education program, a comprehensive education program, not just in the primary schools or secondary schools, but even at the kindergarten level.
For Dr. Tilaksing, the message is clear. Violence is not a male issue or a female issue. It is a societal problem that must be confronted openly if lasting change is to be achieved. Marie-Therese Bernard for We Focus on TTT News.
Well, this week, Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, Dr. Rudal Munilal, is attending the India Energy Week conference. In this week's Evolving Energy, he shares the possible investment opportunities from the event.
While he is in India, Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, Dr. Rudal Munilal, said he will be exploring possible investment opportunities for Trinidad and Tobago. He noted that this would not be the first time that companies from India would be investing in this country.
We have also had discussions with the Indian energy sector. Some of you may not know, but several companies from India have been working here before. And India Oil in particular had been operating and doing some work, consultancy and otherwise, in the former Petrotrin.
Minister Munilal said he would be attending India's energy conference in the last week in January.
Invited, we are honored to be invited to participate at the India Energy Week in Goa from the next week, the 27th to the 30th, I believe. We have several meetings with companies in India and companies outside of India have been set for us to discuss matters involving, as you say, the refinery. We have received a report from the Refinery Restart Committee. We shared that with you.
The Energy Minister said there was at least one particular subject which will be broached in the high-level discussions.
And a key issue there is, of course, the investment, the capital investment in the refinery. And we believe that we can speak to not just the Indian companies, but other companies participating. It's a massive event, as you would know, over 6,500 participants, 7,000, I believe, exhibitions and so on, and a cast of professional people there. And several of the leading companies of the world would be there. We will meet and treat with companies that do not operate in Trinidad. So that's a unique opportunity to discuss investments in the refinery. And
Dr. Munilal highlighted another area that requires investment input, Heritage Petroleum Company Limited.
In the upstream sector, where we desperately need significantly more investments, and some of the investments related to heritage. Heritage, as you know, has suffered over the years with infrastructure that has been dilapidated, infrastructure that has collapsed on itself and is in a state of disrepair. And we'll need to look at partnerships with energy companies to work with Heritage to rehabilitate somewhat its infrastructure, and also to look at further opportunities for exploration nearshore and offshore.
The team Dr. Munilal will lead to India will include Heritage Petroleum's chairman, Kurt Ramlal, and the Guarakara Refinery's chairman, Gautam Maharaj. I am Terry Ann Brown Campbell, and this is Evolving Energy.
Just a little weather update for you. Today seems like it's going to be a nice and sunshiny day, so whatever you're doing, take that into consideration. Also, it's World Blueberry Pancake Day, so maybe you can have that for breakfast. We'll talk more when we come back on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
For CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz, brought to you by Fruta.
Bring your team, bring your flags, bring your vibes. Next 99.1 FM is taking over the savannah. Sunday 1st February, we are bringing the energy for Jam Iron on the greens. This one you don't want to miss, and it's all inclusive. So secure your packages early. Get yours today on islandetickets.com. Lock in your spot and lock in your team. Next 99.1 FM, the next level of radio.
Now listen, this is your boy Carlos Edwards, and as a former player, let me tell you, it's the fans, man. The fans that made the game. That's the 12th man right there. And when it comes to Trinidad and Tobago, there's only one 12th man you need to know. My guy, Andre Errol Baptiste on TTT. He's bringing the heat every Thursday.
Come to me, come to me, come to me. Oh, yeah, yeah. Go away from me, go away from me, go away from me, go away from me. I said, take a jump, oh no. Start to wave, start to wave, start to wave up now. Start to wind up now, because the queen of Balkaran.
Hey, young ones. TTT's Terrific Toon Time is just for you. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's adventure-filled too. Join us as we follow the characters you know and love. See what our hero Zach gets up to in Super Z. Dive into the action with Bugs Butt Ignition. Put on your explorer's cap and join Dada and Dada on their next adventure. And of course, we can't forget our cosmic friends on Galaxy Kids. Tune in Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. and 4:10 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. Don't miss it. It's Terrific Toon Time only on TTT.
Throwback Thursdays on TTT takes a whole new meaning this Carnival season. We're digging into the archives and bringing you the moment that made Carnival unforgettable. The music that made us throw our waistlines, the fets that had flags waving, and the energy that carried us from the stage to the road. From iconic performances to unforgettable stage moments, from Panorama to the Marsh Gras, from Soca Monarch to concerts, where one beat could mash up the whole place. This is the Carnival we know and love. Raw, real, unfiltered. The kind of carnival that had us jamming without a care, living in the moment, and carrying the vibes long after the music stopped. This Carnival season, Throwback Thursday on TTT isn't just about looking back, it's about reconnecting with the spirit, the freedom, and the culture that live inside all of us. So whether you were there when it happened or experiencing it for the first time, pull up, tune in, and relive the vibes. Throwback Thursdays, the Carnival edition, only on TTT, the home of Carnival.
The time now is 6:47 a.m. Well, Dr. Robert Jupiter is a U.S. double board certified physician in family medicine and obesity medicine who provides a comprehensive patient-centered care for individuals of all ages, from newborn to older adults. He diagnoses and manages acute and chronic conditions, including diabetes, hypertension, asthma, arthritis, while offering men's, women's, pediatric and geriatric care with a strong emphasis on prevention, continuity, and long-term wellness. Now, he's really passionate about evidence-based weight management and metabolic health, and also supports patients' mental health needs. After years of practice in the U.S., Dr. Jupiter returned to TNT with his beautiful wife, Dr. Karen Moses, to found Stellar Medical, dedicated to improving community health and delivering sustainable, high-quality care. Good morning, Dr. Jupiter. It's so good to have you on Trinidad and Tobago today.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me.
So, Dr. Jupiter, getting right into it, how serious is the problem of obesity in Trinidad and Tobago right now compared to the rest of the Caribbean and the world?
Okay, very good question. So Trinidad and Tobago faces an epidemic with regards to obesity and overweight. They did a STEPS survey back in 2022 as well as in 2024, and they recognized that the rates of obesity as well as overweight patients have increased only from 57% to 61.7%. So you can see that there's a trajectory that is tending on the rise. When we look at obesity compared to the rest of the world stands at 39% obesity rates. So you can see where Trinidad and Tobago is somewhere that we are climbing in above average direction.
And why do you think our rates are climbing so fast, despite our tropical climates? And I mean, we have a lot of fresh food and fruit and all of that. Why?
Yeah, so it's not more so to do with our tropical climate, it's more so to do with globalization and development. If you look at genetics in individuals from 20 years ago, genetics, that hasn't changed as much, but our environment has changed a whole lot. Environment when it comes to not only sugar sweetened beverages, the amount of ultra processed foods that can go into things like box foods, pizza foods, aspects to do with fried chicken, the fries, our marketing when it comes to online or even television with sugar sweetened cereals, starting from childhood. As kids grow older, you realize that if we don't impact it from such a young age, it starts to affect individuals even in adulthood as well.
Yeah, Dr. Jupiter, now our local diet has somewhat become a lot of ultra-processed food, but we have a lot of traditional Caribbean food that we used to rely on. Our grandparents grew up on it, and they were very healthy, and they did a lot of physical activity and all of that. Specifically, I could talk from experience. My grandparents, and they always look at us and say, "Look at you all now. When back then we used to do this and we used to do that." What is the comparison now? How has it changed from just eating so healthy and clean and doing all of those things that they used to do, and look at our diets now, very ultra processed?
Yes. So when you look at the aspects of grandparents and modern day, the aspects with not only our activity level from sedentary lifestyle to which is or screen intake that is heavy on at nighttime compared to even times where even exercise would be a role to play. Individuals used to take a lot more walking if it is in parks or even recreational grounds, school grounds, aspects to do with even the nutritional intake. More foods were cooked at home compared to foods which are purchased outside. Many family members would purchase, let's say, a food 2 to 3 times a week in Trinidad and Tobago, and that actually affects our long-term approach when it comes to weight management as well too, because these ultra-processed foods are not only when it comes to sugar-sweetened beverages, aspects to do with the snacks, the cookies, the high sugar, the high salt, the high fats, aspects to do with a sedentary lifestyle, increased screen activity, long periods of time in traffic. That also affects aspects to do with lower amounts of sleep.
What about
individuals? Genetics do play a role as well. I would say genetics is lower down compared to when we look at things like our environment that is there, as well as our activity level. Yes, we can always say there's aspects to do it, eat less and exercise more. But when you look at it from a metabolic standpoint, obesity is a chronic metabolic condition that has times where people relapse as well as regain weight at different times.
Now let's talk about the gender aspect. Is it obesity more common in men or women or children in Trinidad and Tobago?
Obesity is definitely more common in women. It's more common in women and more so around the abdominal area.
Yes.
Approximately 30% of women in Trinidad and Tobago do have obesity or are overweight, compared to men, which is closer to, let's say, 15 to 20%, and then kids, it's more so a little lower, but there is a significant rise in what's happening from the kids. So that's why we have to target obesity strongly from the school standpoint, so that way we can help to prevent it worsening in the future as well.
Yeah, so things, of course, like a balanced diet, maybe with the school nutrition system. There are a lot of rules. One of my friends, she sends her kids to school with certain things. So you have to, there are rules, right? So you can't give them anything processed, nothing sugary. It has to be fruit, water. These are new rules coming into the school system. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm 100% an advocate for such. In 2017, Trinidad and Tobago, we banned sugary drinks in schools. So this is a continuous process that is ongoing. What you realize is a lot of times when people look at the types of nutritional intake that we consume, in the morning someone may have a sugary soda, and at lunchtime they may have a sweetened beverage, and at dinner time they may have another sugary soda, and sometimes even limiting the amount of water to which they take in. What you recognize is that these are adding additional calories on a daily basis, so much so that sometimes for every sugary beverage that is there, sometimes you can consume as much as 50 to 60 grams of sugar that is coming in, and that could be as much as 12 tablespoons of sugar, and adding as much as 200 to 300 calories on a daily basis. What's going on in schools right now is that we really need to push more so having fruits, vegetables that are readily available and accessible at a reasonable cost for students that are there, and working to limit the amount of junk food that is accessible to them as well too.
Yeah, Doc, a lot of times we hear us talking about a carb-heavy diet, because we have carbs in the morning, carbs for lunch, and then carbs for dinner, and that's a Caribbean thing, right?
So when you look at not only the Taino Indian, but also the African diaspora when they're coming to Trinidad, many of the meals that we do have, we can have them in moderation. That includes things like, let's say, even our rotis, our curries, our provisions, our plantain. You could even think about different types of meats. But what we really need to work on is working at things with regards to trans or even saturated fats. Trans or saturated fats are unhealthy fats. What we need is to really push more so the polyunsaturated fats. Trans fats most commonly include things that are like the TV foods, aspects to do with, you could read a lot of times on the labels when you see the amount of percentage of trans fats that are there, if we target avoiding such, even with food labels that are on the packaging, we can see then that, okay, this is something that has it can have a negative effect on us. Many countries are moving towards things like even an octagon shape on food labels in the front of foods. So that way you can also be aware as well to what is coming into your body, and then you could say, okay, this is something that we can avoid or hold off on.
Doc, I want to put a pin in this right here. We're going to continue when we come back after the news, because we have so much more to talk about inside Trinidad and Tobago today.
Next, 99.1 FM, Soca Dominion, where Soca lives.
Give me a chance to wine on you, so I can win with you, and I can jam with you. Give me another chance so I can... She love the roti, she love the choca, she love the baigan.
You ever jump in a car after a fete knowing that the driver more tipsy than you? Yeah, you make it home, but not everybody lucky like you. No, we're not taking that chance in Carnival 2026, all right? We're making better choices. Choose a designated driver or book a ride. Remember, better choices, safer Carnival. I could pick mango, I could pick guava, I could pick tamarind. We're making better choices, so designate a driver. Follow!
Roti, she love the choker, she love the bygone.
Health and wellness, the core of our existence on planet Earth. Let us hear the voices of our very own citizens, our local and regional medical community, scientists and climatologists. Caribbean Medical TV is geared to developing a consciousness in our people in terms of our health and lifestyle. Knowledge is a very powerful tool, and we must empower ourselves with the information to protect against chronic and other related diseases. From the impact of climate change on our health to NCDs, Season 3 of Caribbean Medical TV tackles the challenges we all face, giving our citizens hope for a better tomorrow. Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV.
You are dearer to me than all the stars. So many wish but never reach. 'Cause when I'm falling and all the world seems dark, you help me find my peace. Oh, shun mi ba fishani. Oh, shun mi ba yeah. Oh, shun mi ba fishani. Arubita. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Now listen, this is your boy Carlos Edwards, and as a former player, let me tell you, it's the fans, man. The fans that made the game, that's the 12th man right there. And when it comes to Trinidad and Tobago, there's only one 12th man you need to know. My guy, Andre L. Baptiste on TTT, is bringing the heat every Tuesday.
Good morning, this is your TTT News Update at 7. I'm Carrie Roberts, making the news at this time. The Government Zones of Special Operations, or ZOSO Bill 2026, has been defeated in the Senate. 8 of the 9 independent senators voted against the legislation last night, with 1 independent senator abstaining. 6 opposition senators also voted against the bill. Passage of the legislation required the support of at least 4 independent senators and a 3/5 majority. The bill would have empowered the government to declare zones of special operations in areas identified as crime hotspots. The President of the Senate, Wade Mark, summarized the outcome. And the Senate debate encompassed 4 days of deliberations, during which 27 members made contributions, and the motion was piloted by Attorney General John Jeremy. In more news, obtaining land as an ordinary citizen is no longer beyond reach. This as the Land Settlement Agency under the Ministry of Land and Legal Affairs launched Phase 1 of the Land for the Landless program. Minister of Land and Legal Affairs Saddam Hussein assured that the Land for the Landless program is rooted in social justice, equity, and the enduring belief that access to land is fundamental to dignity, security, and opportunity. He explained that the program was created to empower low and middle income citizens, state employees, and recent tertiary graduates through the facilitation of residential lots at a subsidized cost. Mr. Hussein assured that that process will be swift. Applications for the program will open on February 23rd for a period of 30 calendar days. And in some sport now, the Windward Islands women defeated the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force Divas by 91 runs in their opening encounter of the Seas United Women's Super 50 Cup, being played in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Red Force Divas won the toss and sent the Windward Islands in to bat first, which saw them post 225 for 7 from 50 overs. Janela Glasgow top scored with 73 off 88 deliveries, and a fluent 61 from 63 by Affie Fletcher took them to the respectable total. Bowling for TNT, Nadia Mohammed took 2 for 42. In reply, Trinidad and Tobago were bowled out for 134 in 33.2 overs, with Leanne Kirby's 31 and Karishma Ramarak's 29 the top scores. Affie Fletcher starred with 4 for 23, backed by Janela Glasgow's 2 for 14, as the Windwards made a strong start to their campaign. And that was your TTT News update. I'm Carrie Roberts. We now return to Trinidad and Tobago Today.
City 91.1. Thought-provoking conversations, bold perspectives, voices you trust. Talk City 91.1 is launching bigger, bolder, and more powerful than ever before.
Yes, Talk City 91.1 FM.
A brand new era of talk radio is here. With voices you know, trust, and respect. Get ready for an all-new lineup of the very best in talk. Andy Williams, Lennox Smith, Stephen Reese, Mr. X, Derek Charbodi, Roland Stewart, Sharon Farfan, Sudath Prasad, Heavy Duty, Alex Asing, Karen Francisco, Cherry Lean Lewis, Short Pants, and more of the voices shaping the national conversation. From hard-hitting current affairs to real community issues, culture, politics, social development, and the stories that matter most to you. This is where Trinidad and Tobago comes to talk.
So I'll go right to on Talk City 91.1, where we're going to give you something new, something hot every day, Monday to Friday.
Listen on 91.1 FM and connect on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. New shows, new features, big giveaways. Talk City 91.1, your city, your voice.
That time of the year again, my friends. Feel it in the air. Football, football, football. It's back. Everyone's locked in. This is Richard Torpedo Thompson, and my Trinidad and Tobago people. I'll stay this straight. Fans make the game. Cheers, chants, passion. That's the heartbeat of football. There's only one 12th man that really brings the energy. That's Andre Errol Batiste on TTT. Every Thursday on TTT. Don't miss it.
Come to me, come to me, come to me. Oh, yeah, yeah. Go away from me, go away from me, go away from me, go away from me. I said, take a jump, oh no. Start to wave, start to wave, start to wave, oh no. Start to wind up now, because the queen of Balkaran.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago Today on TTT. Continuing our discussion on obesity in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean with Dr. Robert Jupiter. Welcome back, Doctor.
Thank you.
So I want to take the conversation a step further now. And I want to ask you, how closely is obesity linked to diabetes, hypertension, even stroke in our population in Trinidad and Tobago?
Strongly linked. When you look at both of them, they are parallel when it comes to increasing prevalence. The more prevalent obesity is, the more prevalent diabetes is. It has a direct correlation, many times with insulin resistance that's happening within the human body. And when you look at high blood pressure, you could see that even with weight gain, people also, the blood pressure also goes up. The same also applies to stroke, heart disease, as well as heart failure, or even hypercholesterolemia as well too. What you can also recognize is that when individuals, when they do lose weight, even if it's 2.2 pounds of weight loss that's gone, you can realize that your blood pressure can go down by 1 millimeter of mercury. So what I've recognized is even with managing patients who have overweight or even obesity, I've recognized that by managing such upstream faucet, I'm able to help with de-escalating many medications they are using downstream as well.
Doc, a lot of people claim that, we're eating less and we're exercising, but we still can't lose weight. What do you say about that?
Yeah, that's actually a very common thing that can happen. But what I would go through is there are certain misnomers that may exist. First of all, recognizing what is individuals overestimating how much they eat, as well as estimating how much exercise to which they are also doing as well too, to help with offsetting the weight balance. Some individuals, many times their nutritional intake is coming in from liquids, many times even sugar-sweetened beverages that are coming in, and those are calorie dense and they are not giving nutritional intake compared to proper food that is coming in.
Yeah. Also, Doc, why do so many people regain weight after you lose weight? You find like, okay, well, I lost a little bit of weight, but then maybe I just got a little too comfortable and I started celebrating my weight loss. I had a little cheat day and one led to the next and I regained weight. But I'm sure you get a lot of patients like that.
Yeah. What I really want to prioritize is persistence. Right? When you look at individuals who do any type of nutritional intake, many times we may lose the water weight initially, and then after which the weight is lost, then it's like, okay, I've reached some bit of a plateau. At that particular time of the plateau is not really the time where it is that, let's say, we give up or we say that this is something that, I haven't reached the number that I'm at, so I'm going to return to where I'm at. This is a consistent process that it has to be targeted every single day, and finding a plan that actually works effectively for you and being consistent with it is very key. There is something where it is that the body has a set point where it is that sometimes I might be thinking, okay, well, I'm 211, but for some reason, I might reach down to 200, but then for some reason, like all of a sudden my body comes back up. When it is that we lose weight, naturally our metabolism slows down, and hormones such as ghrelin, which is responsible for hunger hormones in our body, actually is ramped up, and leptin, which is responsible for satiety, actually there's resistance, and that actually comes down. So individuals, many times they regain the weight that they have put on. It comes down very much to consistency, applying methods to which it is that you are able to maintain, not just saying, okay, today I'm going to try, okay, today I'm a vegan, and even though I'm vegan, I may have, which is a very admirable approach, I may have cookies and sugar-sweetened beverages in the evening. Okay, I want to try the keto nutritional intake, and then I see that how I have low carbs and I have a high degree of fat, and that's throwing off my cholesterol panel entirely. Wow. Or I'm doing intermittent fasting and I'm 16 hours without any eating whatsoever. But then within the 8 hours to which I do eat, I realize that they never specify specifically what to eat during those times. I really push a nutrient-rich nutritional intake. Okay. Your fruits, vegetables, your legumes, lean proteins, as well as fish, really key to also help with the proper nutritional intake that is coming in.
All right, Doc, what's your view on calories in versus calories out? That's something that you hear a lot these days, especially on social media. You go on YouTube and they say, how do you want to lose weight? Well, your calories in versus your calories out. Ensure that you're having physical activity, to offset that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, very good question. So calories in, many times it's what nutritional intake that is coming in. What individuals are looking at is, okay, I have breakfast, lunch, dinner, or I may skip a whole big part of my breakfast and lunch, and then individuals have a large dinner, and then they realize that, listen, that goes immediately into fat storage, as when we sleep. So I actually push more so for having more of a solid breakfast throughout the day, and after a certain period of time in the evening, 6, 7 p.m., there's no further nutritional intake from that standpoint. Yeah. When it comes to things like calories out, knowing exactly, okay, what exactly am I doing for exercise? Some individuals, like I may have mentioned before, like you may exercise for 30 minutes and lose 150 calories.
Yes.
But then as a reward, we naturally may go and say, okay, I would like to get this particular smoothie, and that may have about 300 calories in, and offsetting, okay, how much that we are actually having in. Yes, a calorie deficit is one approach that is there with increased physical activity. That would help with also the weight management, but also helping as well too with working on the mind. There are many individuals out there that when we think of it from a psychological standpoint, when they are binge eating disorder, nighttime eating syndrome, the cravings, poor sleep, stress particularly, all of which can increase things like hormonal imbalances in the body and also affect our long-term approach when it comes to weight management.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Robert Jupiter, for joining us this morning on Trinidad and Tobago Today, talking all about that. Do you have any maybe page or social media handles that people can check you out if they want some help?
Yeah, sure. So I am found on Stella Medical TT. That is our Instagram page. And for email address, stellamedicalclinic@gmail.com. Before I leave, there's one last thing I would like to share. When it comes to sugar-sweetened beverages, I really want to encourage individuals to try to have less of sugar-sweetened beverages. If that's the only change that we make, then and we replace that with water, that would make a huge difference when it comes to the amount of calories that are coming in. Sugar-sweetened beverages could be like that red soda that I like, or say I have a huge coffee with an excess amount of sugars or additives that is inside it. We really need to try to pull from that standpoint and try to replace with water. If we do that from a family standpoint, that would have an effect trickling down even to the kids as well.
You heard it from the expert. Drink some more water today in place of those sugary beverages. When we come back, so much more inside Trinidad and Tobago Today, 13 after 7 o'clock.
Struggling with heart health or frequent migraines? Discover the simple steps to reclaim your energy and vitality.
We're diving into a topic that affects about 422 million people around the world: diabetes.
Tune into Wellness Unlocked, the series that delivers expert advice, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your health and well-being. Your health matters. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on TTT and take the first step toward better health.
This Saturday, Center of Excellence Car Park, we celebrate 10 years of Choka. Live on stage, Michelle Montano. Full blown. Lady Lava.
For nothing in this world, I say I can't pick a good man.
Ravi B, Nisha B, and Karma.
She love the roti, she love the choker.
Young Brother.
And give me inch by inch.
Anu Samaru. Savita Singh. Master Salim, Orlando Octave, Viking Ding Dong, KI, Super Blue, Rowdy Ramru, Iowa George, Trupati, and more. General tickets, $250. For more information, call 498-1698. This Saturday, Center of Excellence Car Park, 10 years of Choka.
I love choker.
Somewhere up in Laventille, many years ago, another hammer used to follow him throughout. He used to use it to pong a pan, but sometimes a stupid man, all in Savannah, never miss an aroma.
You have to be committed. You have to have perseverance to say, okay, I'm starting at knowing nothing to reach a point where I can perform an entire song.
TTT's terrific Toon Time is just for you. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's adventure-filled too. Join us as we follow the characters you know and love. See what our hero Zach gets up to in Super Z. Dive into the action with Bugs Butt Ignition. Put on your explorer's cap and join Dada and Dada on their next adventure. And of course, we can't forget our cosmic friends on Galaxy Kids. Tune in Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. and 4:10 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. Don't miss it. It's terrific tune time only on TTT.
Tune in for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz. Brought to you by Fruta.
Denise Deming is a communications professional, couples and family counselor, and governance practitioner with more than 40 years experience working across public administration, corporate communications, and also social policy. She is the founder of Deming Communications and has served in senior leadership and board roles in tourism, education, and of course, you'll know, gender and development. She holds an MSc in marriage, couples and family counseling, an executive MBA and BSc in public administration, and she's lectured in business communications at UE and Roy Tech. Denise is also a volunteer counselor with the Rape Crisis Society of Trinidad and Tobago, doing commendable work all the time. Her work focuses on how weak systems, poor decision making, and delayed accountability affect us ordinary people. She's known for explaining complex governance failures in plain language and for connecting policy decisions to, of course, their real human and financial costs. Good morning, Mrs. Deming, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good morning, and I'm so happy to be with you this morning.
Yes, I haven't seen you in such a long time, and I'm glad to have you on our set. So following the central bank's decision to discontinue its long-running CL Financial case after billions in public funds were spent and, of course, no criminal charges laid, questions about accountability and systemic delay have resurfaced. So now we're talking all about this with Mrs. Deming. So Mrs. Deming, first things first. Is this really about one lawsuit, or does it expose a deeper failure in how our state's systems work?
I am so happy to see this happen, because what it does is that it indicates all the failures that happen in our systems, our processes, and our procedures. You know, and this example, if it is dealt with in a way that is acceptable to the population, it should transform our public service and a lot of things that occur for the members of the public, from their wills, from if they have a matter in court, you know, because for 15 years, a matter has been going on. That has happened through at least, I think, 3 or 4 governments. Similar, some of them were similar, but at least 3 or 4 times, and it has not ended. So what are we saying? We're saying that there are no deadlines for things like this. It can just happen. And when you talk about $28 million, that to me is just painful, because that says that our citizens who could have other opportunities, the money is now wasted because it's now given to very specific persons and not benefits the entire society. So to me, while this is a legal issue, and I have no knowledge about legal issues, I don't like legal issues, although it is a legal issue, really what it is saying is that it is an example of how we need to transform our systems, how we need to ensure that people do not accept, well, listen, you know, if I take a long time to do this, then they will benefit. Oh, take a long time and nothing will happen. That will not transform our country.
Mrs. Deming, 15 years is a long time. How does the system allow that case to drag on for so long without, you know, a resolution, and who benefits from that delay?
That's a hard question, and I don't want anybody to sue me. But clearly, the legal participants are the beneficiaries. Who else benefits? I don't know who else benefits, but this thing requires that we transform our legal system. Because when you look at people in jail, it takes years that the number of people who have been charged with murder, but they're in prison and they're waiting for 10 years, for 15 years. How can we transform our people with that kind of thing happening? So the legal systems have to change. But it's not just the legal systems, it is all of our systems, all of our processes, all of our procedures have to change. I'll give you an example. With the recent cases that we've been having with regard to drivers, you pass by any of those headquarters and people are lining up from midnight. How do you line up from midnight to go into one of those headquarters? Those things just confuse me. But it is because those systems are not designed in a way that we all can just follow the system, come, get a number, be spoken to, be told what you're supposed to do. So people show up at midnight and wait.
Mrs. Deming, staying on the topic of delays, when delays become routine, have they stopped just being failures and they turn into strategy at this point?
They turn into strategy for people who are corrupt, because people will come to you and offer you, okay, I can get it done for you if you pay me a little more. So those delays in the systems is a way of ensuring that those persons who are corrupt now have an opportunity to reach out to the citizens who want whatever it is and to be paid separately for it. Yeah. So if it's a strategy, it's a negative strategy for corrupt people, which is a bad thing to say.
Mrs. Deming, what does the $28 million spent really represent in terms of lost public trust and missed opportunities?
For a number of members of the public, the $28 million, they'll just ignore it. But I hope that for people, younger people who understand that schools need some more millions, our health system needs some more millions. If that was resolved in 2 years, it would not have cost us $28 million. That is the taxpayers' money that is being used just to pay the lawyers. And that to me is unfortunate.
And Mrs. Deming, if nothing changes after this, what message does that send to ordinary citizens like us stuck for years in things like probate, even divorce, or just small legal matters?
Probate in this country, because I have an experience with it, occurs maybe around 3 to 6 years. In England, probate ends in as little as 3 months, and the average is 1 year. In Jamaica, it's also a year. Why is it taking 3 to 12 years in Trinidad? So, what do we learn from this? We're learning that our leaders talk to us about things, but they do not activate transformative ideas and transformative actions. And what is needed for our country as a beautiful country, a fabulous country, what is needed is for our systems, our structures, our processes to be transformed. But for that to happen, whoever is in the leadership has to transform things. They have to take some serious decisions. Not decisions that kick people, but decisions that transform the way we behave with each other, the way we come to work, the things we do. If I go to a public system, generally, whoever is the first receptionist treats me badly because they're looking at me and saying to me, lady, how I can help you? Come on, look at me. Good morning. How can I help? That does not happen. So we need to transform the way we respect each other. And that to me is the biggest issue in our country.
Right. Mrs. Deming, before you go, as I have you here, I've been, closely following you over the past few years in your social media content. And I know you've been very vocal on CGO9 being cancelled. Would you want to talk about that for a few minutes before you go?
CGO9, what a question. I have to rethink. But Caribbean Games, CGO9, was not held because of the H1N1 virus. And that was
a bad memory.
It's a bad memory in 2009, because I'd been working with CGO9 prior to that. And since 2009 to today, the matter has not been resolved. When we ended it in 2009, about 3 years later, we liquidated the company, and there was $12 million left in the account. Since then, I have written to every Minister of Finance to ask for the matter to be resolved. And I have had no responses. I've even written to the current Minister of Finance. I've had an acknowledgement of the letter, but I've not had a response. And what is important there is that there's about $10 million in the bank account that could be used for sports. Think of that. Any of the sports that we do at the moment, there's $10 million that could be used for them to transform themselves. There has to be a recognition of the number of people who participated on that, who were part of the leadership of the CGO9 company. and some of them, a couple of people have died, but most of them are still alive. There has been no acknowledgement that since about 2006, people have been involved in trying to say, well, Caribbean Games didn't happen, but let's ensure that we end it properly and ensure that that money is used for something in our sports. And that's a dream that I have, and I hope that it will become a reality.
All right, thank you so much, Mrs. Denise Deming, and we always look forward to all of your social media content, and you've really been outspoken on so many things happening across Trinidad and Tobago. Well, when we come back, we switch our focus now to Carnival, music, and culture on Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Remember a long time when adults leaving children home to go fetch was normal? So many things could have gone wrong, and there's nothing normal about that. For Carnival 2026, our children's safety comes first. Choose to get a responsible adult or babysitter, and if you can't, stay home. Stop playing ting. This is a safety thing. I'm your girl Nandi, and remember, better choices, safer Carnival.
A new season equals new dreams, and many football fans are dreaming of their team actually winning this season. But the reality is that only one team can win. So many will just be dreaming and wishing and hoping that their team can deliver. Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Notice I have not mentioned Arsenal. Don't be upset, I'm not mentioning Man U either. This is Atto Bolden inviting all of you to follow the 12th man as they celebrate a new season on TTT and enjoy the ride.
Throwback Thursdays on TTT takes a whole new meaning this Carnival season. We're digging into the archives and bringing you the moment that made Carnival unforgettable. The music that made us throw our waistlines, the fetes that had flags waving, and the energy that carried us from the stage to the road. From iconic performances to unforgettable stage moments, from Panorama to the Marsh Gras, from Soca Monarch to concerts, where one beat could mash up the whole place. This is the Carnival we know and love. Raw, real, unfiltered. The kind of carnival that had us jamming without a care, living in the moment, and carrying the vibes long after the music stopped. This Carnival season, Throwback Thursday on TTT isn't just about looking back, it's about reconnecting with the spirit, the freedom, and the culture that live inside all of us. So whether you were there when it happened or experiencing it for the first time, pull up, tune in, and relive the vibes. Throwback Thursdays, the Carnival edition, only on TTT, the home of Carnival.
The National Junior Panorama 2026 finals were held on January 18th at the Queen's Park, Savannah, Port of Spain, and featured intense competition with the Shell Invaders Youth Steel Orchestra coming out on top in the under 21 category. Joining us this morning, the band's manager, Atia O'Neill Brito, and Desiree Myers, the music coordinator, also the mother of the arranger, Rashawn Myers-Williams, who couldn't be here with us this morning. Good morning and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling? I mean, this is a huge accomplishment, to say the least.
We are elated.
Yeah, you're still celebrating?
We are definitely still celebrating.
But of course, after the celebrations, work starts again for the new season. But we're not focusing on that. Let's talk about the victory. Now, how did you prepare for this competition? What did the rehearsals look like?
Well, our preparation began from the beginning of last year when we started our youth program. We work with those players and develop their skills, develop their talents, and of course, going into the Panorama season, we started in November, where we had practice 5 days a week for 3 hours a day to work towards this competition.
Yeah. Desiree, I'm pretty sure as music coordinator, you're probably cracking the whip, to say the least, and saying, guys, we need to get this done.
Well, I mean, under Atia's management of the Youth Steel Orchestra, I mean, she always makes sure that she have things well organized, pretty much. So they really worked hard towards it, even into when it's test time for whilst they're in school, you know, at least they still came to the yard and did what they had to do.
Yeah, that is dedication.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the arrangement this year. As Rashawn's mommy and music coordinator, you can't talk about that. What inspired the musical direction?
This was one of the songs that he had. Rashawn likes a lot of older music. You know, he gravitates to that more because of the kind of musical content that the music contain. And this was one of the songs that he had together with Toko Band, I think it was.
Yes.
And the other one was a Mystery Band. And of course, this one came out on top of the 3 that he was thinking of. And he arranged this song basically in 3 days. He knew exactly
How old is he?
He is 25 now.
Wow.
Yeah. And he started in the youth band pretty much, so he grew up in the band, and now he's the arranger of the steel orchestra, the youth steel orchestra. So, as I was saying, he conceptualized exactly what he wanted to do. He went through every piece of the music, and he knew exactly how he wanted to capture that whole space effect, to take you through that journey in space, and that's exactly what he accomplished.
Atia, any challenges came up this season, you know, in managing the band? How did you deal with those?
Well, you know, there are always challenges. This year was a bit easier. The only thing would be the time of the players being, you know, their balance with school and, of course, being at the Panyard. Some of them, they're even performing with their school for Panorama. So just having that balance of them being at our rehearsals as well as having lessons. They also have school practice. You know, that was the main challenge. But I wouldn't say it was a great issue that we couldn't deal with.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you had some first-time players as well in the band this year?
For sure.
Yeah.
But because of our program, as I mentioned before, we also have a junior side. So they would have been preparing as well. And then they came into the youth steel orchestra for the Panorama competition.
So what are the ages of your members, your actual members?
So we start from the age of 5 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And we go all the way up to 21.
Oh, what are the 5-year-olds doing? What roles are they playing? And
well, they are developing their skills the same way. They have performances. We create performances for them where they would perform, and you know, they're doing an amazing job.
Well, that is really cute. And I'm pretty sure you have to mummy a lot of it as well.
Yes, I'm Auntie Desi. But to see them grow to where they are today is such an amazing accomplishment, and hats off to Atia for the great job that she does with the children, of course, definitely.
Yeah, and this experience, I mean, a victory like this is massive, and as I said, I'm pretty sure that they're still celebrating this. How did they deal with this kind of victory, and what kind of experience was this for them to hear their names being called?
Well, the confidence that they had before, like they already saw themselves as winners before the competition. They were so prepared, you know, of course, with Rashawn finishing the music before time. And I even had one of our young members, 10 years old, after they performed, he came up to me and he said, Auntie Atia, when we win, can I run across the stage to get the trophy?
Did he run across the stage?
He did. His dad had to pick him up so he don't get trampled.
Wow.
But yeah, just that confidence that they had, you know, it seemed like, you know, everything just fell into place. It was supposed to happen, you know, regardless of anything else. And just the joy that they had, it just gave me that purpose and, you know, fulfilled. It was just fulfilling at the end of it all.
So how long was the preparation process? How many months did you start preparing for this?
Well, we started back in November, the second or the third week in November. And of course, we took our Christmas break and so on. So in all, I would say it was about 8 weeks in preparation for the competition.
And of course, being the winner of this means there wasn't much that you didn't do, right? You did everything right, of course, to be the winner. But what lessons did you learn throughout this competition that you were going to take into next year's competition?
Well, it's been a long process. Our last win was back in 2019, and we've been trying to get that victory again. So, you know, we've been going back every year to see how we can do better, you know, what it is that we need, what does it entail to get that victory. And, you know, we focus a lot on music before, but this year we focus more on performance and the players having that attitude toward, you know, that fun, having fun while they're performing, and it's not just robotic where they're just playing notes, you know. So that was one of the main things that we would have been working towards.
Well, before we talk about the future of Shell Invaders Youth Steel Orchestra, Auntie Desi, it's okay that I call you Auntie Desi.
It's all right.
Yeah, you hear it all the time. You have young viewers, and you have these kids wondering, I want to play pan and I love this. What would you say to them?
It's one of the best instruments you could ever play in your life.
And why is that?
Pan is life.
It is.
Everything that you want to learn about life, you learn it right there in the pan yard. It's a life lesson. It's community spirit. And you meet people there that you keep as friends for life. You learn a lot of things in the pan yard, and it's one of the greatest instruments that you could ever learn to play.
All right. Well, that brings me to my final question. What's next for Shell Invaders?
Well, we're going right back at it with our program. We're starting again in March. For those who may want to join us, we start again from the age of 5 all the way to 21. And of course, we look forward to future performances, entering other competitions such as music festival and so on, and continue to develop that playing skill, the discipline, of course. And of course, we have to thank our management. We have to thank our parents. Yes, for sure. And of course, our sister mother band, Invaders Steel Orchestra.
And Auntie Desi, what do you look forward to in this upcoming year for Shell?
What I look forward to first and foremost is our performance tonight in the preliminary rounds.
Yeah.
And which is a great accomplishment to us. We have over 30 of the youth band players playing in the senior band.
All right.
So that is a great accomplishment. Of course, we are looking forward to a lot of things this year, and of course developing our band, as usual, performances, and growing with respect to our knowledge and wisdom in everything that we do.
All right.
Thanks to our management and sponsor.
Our champions, the National Junior Panorama 2026 Finals, Shell Invaders Youth Steel Orchestra on TNT today. Well, when we come back, we talk about music production, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but the Caribbean and the world.
and Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
TTT's Terrific Toon Time is just for you. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's adventure-filled too. Join us as we follow the characters you know and love. See what our hero Zach gets up to in Super Z. Dive into the action with Bugs Butt Ignition. Put on your explorer's cap and join Dada and Dada on their next adventure. And of course, we can't forget our cosmic friends on Galaxy Kids. Tune in Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. and 4:10 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. Don't miss it. It's Terrific Toon Time only on TTT.
Come to me, come to me, come to me. Oh, yeah, yeah. Go away from me, go away from me, go away from me, go away from me. I said, take a jump now. Start to wave, start to wave, start to wave up now. Start to wind up now because the queen of Balkaran.
Tune in for CZIT's National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz, brought to you by Fruta.
Somewhere up in Laventille, many years ago, another hammer used to follow him throughout. He used to use it to pong a pan, but sometimes a stupid man, all in the savannah, never miss an aroma.
You have to be committed. You have to have perseverance to say, okay, I'm starting at knowing nothing to reach a point where I can perform an entire song.
Hey, what's going on now? Right? I must stop this. I've been working on a little project here, right? Put real sweat and tears in this. But not really this project, eh? You know what? Let me show you. I'll show you. Welcome to Mang Studios.
Producer, entrepreneur, and accomplished musician whose career bridges technical precision and creative expression. The founder and CEO of Mang Studios, Duran has worked across genres including soca, calypso, chutney, bhajan, and even opera and contemporary Caribbean music. His work is especially known for elevating upcoming and emerging artists. As a performing musician as well, Duran is currently a keyboardist with Kes the Band. Good morning, Duran.
Good morning, good morning.
You started us off there with the paw raising. Yeah, I heard my director and everybody sing paws raising. That was a really good one. And that's the vibe you usually get at Mang Studios, where I still have to visit.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so Duran, you're the founder and CEO of Mang Studios. Tell us what inspired you to start this.
Well, back when I joined Sherwin, Winchester and you, I was open to all the other aspects of music. You know, being a musician is not just about playing music. You know, you have music production, you have video production, all the other aspects. So I was open to the studio part of it, where all the guys from the team helped nurture me in that venture. So the thing is, the learning from them,
Now you've always kept the team really close and
Yes.
taken an approach with your team as well. That is something we admire about you as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Gerard, what services you offer at Mang Studios?
Well, what we offer right now is music production, vocal recording, mixing, mastering, those kind of things.
Now, what can people expect on the creative hub side of Mang Studios? For example, like, can we meet as creatives to work on our music? Can we collaborate on songs? I know you have a creative hub. Tell us about that.
Right. So the space, Mang Studios, right now, I would like for it to be a space where all musicians, artists could come and share ideas. You know, it's all about creation of new ideas, new music, anything, new shows. So it's just, I want that space to be a forum where is a level of openness.
Yeah.
You know, we share ideas, come up with something, and just create.
Now, one thing I've had my eyes on is the Blue Room sessions.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
So the Blue Room sessions started during the pandemic period. Before coming into music full time, my background was mechanical engineering.
Really?
So I worked at TCL, the cement plant. Music was the hobby at that time. So during the pandemic, the second year of the pandemic, my whole department was sent home. So I was asking myself, well, what I'm gonna do now?
Yeah.
So I always had music as a hobby. I decided to dabble into that full time. It was always there. So I said, I'll invest time in this fully, as nothing is going on at that point in time. So getting into that now, I developed we got a space, partner up with SSR Productions, of course. Shishi.
Plug here.
Big up yourself.
SSR.
So we got a space, build the studio, and I think at that point in time, I decided to, create a platform for musicians. The thing is, at that point in time, musicians got hit the hardest because, you just didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
You can't go and play in a party, you can't go and play in a show or anything. All those things are closed down at that point in time. So I reached out to musicians, artists, say, let's create stuff. Put it online, because everything was online at that point in time. Create videos, post it, somebody must see something at the end of the pandemic, whenever that would be.
And we saw.
Yeah. The thing is, we wanted to kind of maintain is like somewhat of a sanity.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of musicians, really got depressed at that point in time.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of hold us together. And, it was like a gamble for me, like, okay, maybe whenever pandemic finish, somebody must see somewhere a video.
Right.
I'll be like, I like, that fellow who played the piano, he really good, or that fellow who sing, this girl that sing. We want this person, because they would have seen us around
Shine
the
a
time.
spotlight on the emerging
Correct,
talent.
is right, yeah.
So, Duran, you are one of the keyboardists for Cass the band.
Yes.
Many people would recognize you from, the stage performances. So, you have a concert coming up as well.
Yeah, we have ISV coming up.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, especially in the short period. Carnival is short this year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work going into that, I hope you all get your tickets. Hope make sure and get your tickets. Check ISV Festival, Kessiban.
And how are you preparing mentally for this?
Oh, well, it's really a lot of work, but because the guys so well niched together, it's an easy process for us.
Yeah.
You know?
John, I have a question for you. You go between, different genres.
Yeah.
Soca, chutney, we've done some bhajan arrangements, opera, we've done a lot. And you've done a lot. How do you mentally shift gears between all of these genres?
I think music is something that I think is not something that is sectioned, Music is something, is like a feeling that you get, is an energy that you get.
Yeah.
So based on what you're going to play or sing or whatever it is, I think you get that energy from that. And you just go with that. You go with your heart. We have a saying that, play from your heart.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think you can prepare yourself enough to open to that feeling.
Yeah. Finally, Jeron, tell us where Mang Studios is located and how can people get in contact with you?
Right, so Mang Studios is off the northbound highway, just off Monroe Road flyover, which is very easy to access.
Yeah.
Just repeat the question.
Where can we contact you for bookings?
So you could check Mang Studios at Mang Studios Trinidad, or my other Instagram is Mang Productions, at Mang Productions.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Jeron Mang, for joining us. This is his first
interview.
First media interview. So this is a big deal for us. And of course, a plug for SSR Productions, always behind the scenes getting it done with Mang Studios. Well, as we get ready to wrap it up for today on Trinidad and Tobago Today, we hope you had a wonderful morning, another traffic-filled day. We always say that it's going to be a nice, sunshiny day. We'll leave you with something special from Jeron as well. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. on Trinidad and Tobago Today. Bye.
I might tip and wine if you give me time like you want this, darling. I have something for you right there. I catching a feeling right up on your bumper, baby. I know where you're from, Miss Lady. I love how you dip and go down there. I know you're not easy. Long time I've been waiting for you. I have something for you. When it's time to leave in the morning, and you feel for somebody. You could come and look for me if you want a job, well then call me. And they lock up the DJ at the end of the party. When she look and she tell me that yours, baby. Take that, that yours, honey. That yours, baby. So let me ease up the tension. That yours, baby. That yours, honey. This life is all yours, baby. So let me ease up the tension. Hey. Say she love just how others hold it. Them girl they whining down, but it's you alone we control it. Yes, she a professional bam bam roller. She say bring it, come and wake me down. Don't let nothing get in between us. When I get you a feeling right up on your bumper, baby. I know where you're from, Miss Lady. I love how you dip and go down there. I know you're not easy. Long time I've been waiting for you. I am. When it's time to leave in the morning, and you feel for somebody, you could come and look for me. If you want a time, well then call me. And they lock up the DJ at the end of the party. When she look and she tell me that yours, baby. Take back that yours, honey. Take back that yours, baby. So the bees of the tension, that yours, baby. That yours, honey. This time is all yours, baby. So the bees of the tension. Ease up the tension, baby. Ease up the tension. Bamba de, yeah. Na 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 na.
Health and wellness, the core of our existence on planet Earth. Let us hear the voices of our very own citizens, our local and regional medical community, scientists and climatologists. Caribbean Medical TV is geared to developing a consciousness in our people in terms of our health and lifestyle. Knowledge is a very powerful tool, and we must empower ourselves with the information to protect against chronic and other related diseases. From the impact of climate change on our health to NCDs, Season 3 of Caribbean Medical TV tackles the challenges we all face, giving our citizens hope for a better tomorrow. Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV.
That time of the year again, my friends. Feel it in the air. Football, football, football. It's back. Everyone's locked in. This is Richard Torpedo Thompson, and my Trinidad and Tobago people. I'll stay this straight. Fans make the game. Cheers, chants, passion. That's the heartbeat of football. There's only one 12th man that really brings the energy. That's Andre Errol Batiste on TTT. Every Thursday on TTT. Don't miss it.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update at 8. I'm Carrie Roberts, making the news at this time. When dealing with police-involved killings, conclusions should not be drawn before investigations are completed. A statement from attorney Clyde Weatherhead, who was referring to last week's hotly debated police shooting. Mr. Weatherhead noted, however, that in situations where deadly force is employed by police, what the alleged perpetrator has done in the past must not impact how they are treated in the present circumstance. While agreeing with the Commissioner of Police's decision to send the involved officers to counseling, the attorney contended that suspension is also an appropriate option. He said the regulations make provision for suspension not as a punishment, but as a preventative tool in situations. In other news, the business community is expected to welcome the addition of the new inter-island cargo vessel, Blue Wave Harmony. Those views were expressed by Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Farley Gustine, who toured the vessel on Tuesday alongside government officials. Mr. Gustine said he was impressed by the vessel's potential, particularly its capacity to make travel between Trinidad and Tobago more comfortable and convenient for business travelers. Government ministers, Tobago House of Assembly officials and Port Authority management toured the Blue Wave Harmony, which was docked at the port of Port of Spain. The ship can accommodate approximately 125 freight units compared to about 90 trailers on the Cabo Star and has fixed refrigerated sockets which can be used for temperature-sensitive goods such as food and pharmaceuticals. The Chief Secretary commended the Port Authority and the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure for assisting with the speedy negotiations that got the boat to this country. Minister Jerlene John says the reductions in cost of transportation being brought by this new ship will remove a lot of anxiety from the hearts of Tobagonians. Dr. Rodney Ramroop, chairman of the Port Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, noted that especially during the Carnival season, the vessel serves as a vital and essential link between the two islands. In some sport now, hosts South Africa began their final T20 International Series before the ICC Men's T20 World Cup in style, beating the West Indies by 9 wickets in the first T20I at Paarl. After winning the toss, the Proteas sent the visitors in and restricted them to 173 for 7. Shimron Hetmeyer top scored with 48 off 32, while Robman Powell added 29 from 25 as the pair shared a 74-run 6-wicket partnership. Bowling for South Africa, George Lindy took 3 wickets for 25 runs, while Corbin Bosch had 2 for 35. In reply, South Africa cruised to 176 for 1 in just 17.5 overs. Captain Aidan Markram led from the front with an unbeaten 86 off 47, supported by Ryan Rickleton's 40 not out and Luandre Pretorius's 44, a dominant start for the host. And that was your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Have a great day.
This is TTT. Live for local.
near and dear to my heart, having been a player myself for how many years, from the age of 16, walking straight. I remember walking straight from secondary school straight in face to Panyard and never looking back. And my mother, I must recognize in all of this, she would have been on my case. Come on, get the national instrument inside of Toto, make it happen. We didn't have the financial resource necessary. But thank God, about 3 years ago, 2022, we were able to launch that. We got some sponsorship from the Ministry of Sport and Community Development and the NGC, and we were able to start. So the Toto Youth Steeler Farm was birthed in 2022.
Somewhere up in Laventille, many years ago, a man had a hammer, used to follow him to a He used to use it to pull a band, or sometimes a stupid man, all in the savannah, never miss an aroma. One day the old hammer just disappeared. Some say that it's vanished into thin air. Down is the hammer gone. Tell me where he gone. Anybody know where the hammer gone? Tell me where he gone. Can you tell me what's going on? Tell me where he gone. I want to know where the hammer gone. Tell me where he gone. Why you up on leaf trail? Why you make me green trail? Hammer time my back trail. Why you do me that trail? Oh Lord, well the dragon no up the trail no more. Well the dragon no up the trail no more. They say my country so stressful, so tense, with race hate, young jailbait, too much violence. Girl pack up and go, leave sweet Trinidad go. I tell them no way, no way. how the people small-minded, precocious and loud, of bubble and scandal, they boastful and proud. Yet somehow I see all this foolery as window dressing. They still a blessing. You see, I just eat a curry cue, peas, rice, and cascadoo, blue crab and callaloo. My neighbor just bring me not leaving.
Sea Angels started in 2018, where we had an enthusiastic group of Form 2s who, being involved in PAN before, they wanted to bring PAN to the schools. So with my help, we were able to contact the director, Lisa Duro, who came on board to start our program. Now what we have is a mix of students. Form 1s actually make up the bulk of the band right now. Form 1s, Form 2s, Form 4s, Form 5s, and Upper 6. So our Upper 6s are on their way out. They are actually the girls who started in 2018, and we're hoping that we can get our younger girls to stay with us and move along.
Of the holistic aspect with regards to PAN being introduced into the curriculum, do you think that there's a platform or enough platforms out there for the kids and they to get exposure with regards to showcasing their talents and that sort of stuff?
I think that there is room for improvement. One of the problems it has is that there is a cost associated with the PANs going out there.
Right.
So that the movement of the PANs, the children is not the problem, but the movement and to carry PANs, and in most instances, even to go to something like Junior Panorama,
right,
this is not sufficient. This band is not large enough. You would have to have almost twice the size, and then you have to have racks to put it on and everything else. So you have to then pair up with a big band in order to do that. So it can cost upwards of $100,000 to even go to Junior Panorama, and schools don't have that kind of funding. So the problem is there are things, but the cost in terms of the involvement is very prohibitive. And for smaller things, it's about trying to organize how you can move within the school community to get the support to be out there.
Juggle doing this extracurricular activity with your schoolwork? And if I want to follow up in terms of that, is how has it helped you holistically in terms of putting yourself out there, your confidence levels, how you interact with your friends, how you deal with your schoolwork, all of that? How do you balance all of that with?
Well, I think that managing schoolwork and extracurricular activities is a very central part of being a Holy Name student. We have a lot of different extracurricular activities and events constantly happening in the school. So it's become a natural part of the school environment to take charge and manage your own nature, manage your schoolwork and your activities together, because that's the way you stay afloat in this school. And it has, well, managing the Steel Angels specifically has definitely helped with my personal confidence. I don't really speak much. I'm not really an outgoing person, but it has helped me when it comes to managing the girls under pressure, how to manage others, and how to manage my own personal time. It has helped me a lot with my confidence.
That that cherishes the arts, the performing arts. So this has widened the capacity of students to perform, and of course we see the involvement in terms of the improvement that we see in terms of students' discipline. You have to be disciplined to come to practice. You have to be committed. You have to have perseverance to say, okay, I'm starting at knowing nothing to reach a point where I can perform an entire song. The cooperation, I see the girls. In fact, when we first started, I actually started the bass band with them. We see the girls, and I saw how much assistance I required from my co-players. So we see the teamwork. And we see as well, because it's a cognitive action, it's a cognitive activity as well, it does have its impact on your brain function, and it's music. So it is really something that enhances your academic ability as well as your full development as a person, and we are so very grateful. So they've been enhancing every school gathering, all things Holy Name. But I think the rest of Trinidad and Tobago needs to see these children, these young women who are angelic on the path. And so we'd like to see them performing. We'd like to see them entering into competition because, well, maybe it's a bad thing or maybe it's a good thing that the premier forum for people to play pan and for people to listen to pan is in competition. Benefit of having a teacher on staff who is there at every practice. She's not a music teacher, she's a geography teacher, but there she is with them ensuring that they do that, and you see their pride when the entire school applauds them and they realize that they've done something that has made us proud. They themselves are proud of themselves. So I've seen very quiet little wallflowers find a space where they were safe, where they were comfortable, and where they could grow in the steel pan movement, and I couldn't ask for anything more.
But what we had was a concert type event. And that is what stood out for all the teachers and the participants. They came into a space where there was no competition. Bishop and the girls as well. And they just had fun.
when I first came here, there was one pan to how many students
Wow.
taking the classes. And then we had some partnership with Shell Invaders for about one academic year. And it just did not continue. So there was a break there. But as educators, don't ever stop thinking, don't ever stop innovating. And I was looking for PANs as part of the new ministry's thrust of introducing cultural transformation. Our very first target was entering Junior Panorama.
Wow.
And that term, we started off the very last week of our Christmas vacation into the second term leading up to Panorama. And the sheer joy and the journey of entering the Junior Panorama. This is the first time the school ever sent an orchestra to the competition. And the excitement of the girls and the teachers and the day of judging and the clearance and the practicing, that was our first objective. We met it. We were placed. I really thought we were going to make it to the big yard. We were placed. Objective 1, ticked. And you know, it really made an impact because those girls who actually took part in the Junior Panorama competition, they registered. The standard 5 girls who have gone on to register for their secondary schools. When I asked them, so what clubs are you in? PAN. It's one of them.
Number 1.
Well, come on, and all to the land of birth. Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone.
I've been playing pan with the Martin Secondary School since I entered the school actually, well, a little while after COVID.
We warm up parade abundantly, the brethren they full of energy. Some people say God is a Trinity, paradise I don't convince me.
Playing pan have been a long journey for me, starting at the age of 7. So I developed in multiple ways, whether in roles of leadership, teaching others, whether in roles of developing my ears or developing my playing technique.
No place in this world I'd rather be sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, all about my country, sweet TNT.
The national instrument could develop you in multiple different ways. It could take you in multiple different lanes or doors. It might open a lot of doors for you, career paths. It could also be a way of taking away your pain, like, you know, it could be a source of pain reliever, stress. It could also be a source of cash income. And it could also be a part of like education-wise, you know, or hobby.
No place in this world I'd rather be sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, all about my country, sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be, oh, from Togo to Carnival.
I agree with you because that Panorama event, it was a lot for us. And being a fairly new band, I think we would have benefited more if we had more opportunities outside of Panorama just to develop ourselves as a band, learn the ropes, you know, perform for other smaller audiences. Maybe we would have been even more prepared for that big experience that we had.
Oh, all about my country, sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be sweet, sweet TNT.